So imagine you are a farmer or a gardener, and you've prepared your garden and field for planting, and you're ready. And so you go to the store and you buy some seed, and the brand name of that seed is Selfishness seed. And the bag promises that if you sow this seed in your garden, plant it, you will be able to produce every kind of terrible thing that exists on the earth. And you may think, well, wow, that's quite a bold claim. How could something so small produce so many terrible things? There's a verse in the book of James, chapter 3, it's verse 16, and it says, "For where jealousy and selfish ambition exists, there will be disorder and every vile practice." Did you catch that? It said every vile practice. That's a lot of bad things, terrible things, evil things, things that God doesn't approve of and that aren't good for humanity. But that's a bold claim. How can something so small as a little bit of selfishness sprinkled around you or your community produce that kind of terrible outcome? Is it true that selfishness leads to every kind of vileness? Well, think about some of those evil practices, some sins. What about theft or greed? Is that driven by selfishness? And the answer is yes, of course it is. At the very roots of stealing something is your selfish desire, where you disregard what's good for somebody else or what belongs to them, and you take it for yourself. How about lying? When we don't want to have to face the consequences of what we've done, and we'd rather hurt somebody else, we lie to them. What about a sin like laziness? Is that a result of selfishness? It can be. God has given us many talents, time, energy, healthy bodies in some cases. And if we squander those, we squander them often because we would rather do what we want to do rather than accomplish the work that God has given us to do with the blessings that He's given us. It's selfishness at the bottom. Gossip can be the desire to see somebody else torn down for my selfish ego. The sin of neglect can also grow out of a seed of selfishness, when I would rather focus on me than on someone or something, some responsibility that needs my attention. A lot of times we don't think about sexual sin as a selfish sin, but it is in a lot of ways. When we undervalue somebody else and use them in a way that God hasn't permitted us to do so for our own personal pleasure, that in many ways is selfish. What about not extending forgiveness to someone? If our example is Christ, and Christ has forgiven us all, and God has shown us tremendous mercy, how selfish would we have to be to not extend forgiveness to someone else who asked? One thing we'll notice as we look out over our garden or our field is that these sins are the effect, and the cause is a heart that has allowed selfishness to be planted within it, and a community that has allowed selfishness to be planted and grow within it and to be nurtured. And this is the result. We have a tendency to downplay selfishness, to think that a little bit of selfishness is okay. But based off of our personal experiences that back up the words of James chapter 3, verse 16, the results, the effects of selfishness in our lives and in our communities are too great to risk even one seed of selfishness growing in our hearts. Thank you everyone for watching. I tried a little bit different video this time. I hope you liked it, and maybe I'll try some more in the future. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that. Also, remember to share this with anyone who you may think would benefit from it. Comment down below, like the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.